Alright. Let's get into this fresh and funky sports talk here. We're back again, doing it as we always do. As we always do it about this time here. The 2:30, about the 2:30 hour, West Coast time, 3 o'clock. Gives us about an hour. Talk about basketball here, NBA obviously. Obviously, we already know who's going to the Super Bowl. Obviously, Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations on decimating the 49ers. And for the Chiefs, hanging on and beating the Bengals here and actually letting Patrick Mahomes get his first win against Joe Burrow. And this happens to be a big victory. And but it's going to be short-lived, obviously, because Mahomes re-hurt himself. And obviously, Kadarius Toney and I think Marvis Valdez-Scantling is also hurt. So we're definitely going to see. We'll talk about more of that later. Today we're mostly going to try and stick to talking the slate of NBA and a little bit about college. More or less more of the NBA here. We want to focus our attention on NBA here since NFL season is going to the wayside here. The first two teams that we're showing on right now will be the first game tipping off. Will be the Orlando Magic. I'm trying to say the Orlando Magic right here. There we are, Orlando Magic. And then over here we got the Philadelphia 76ers here. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers, you know, they've been pretty well of a team this season here. Played well. Obviously, Embiid and Harden have been hurt, so they've gone through their spurts with not having those guys. But despite they're still playing, you know, productive, you know, basketball this season. The Orlando Magic, on the other hand, they're just a team trying to get their bearings underneath them, trying to get the number one overall pick this year, Paolo Banchero, to get his wings going a little bit here. I mean, he did struggle against the Bulls recently here, only having 9 points here, so that was kind of a low scoring, you know, outing for him. But tonight, I don't know, maybe Orlando shows up a little bit here tonight. But I still think Philadelphia is the much better team and probably going to come out victorious here tonight over the Orlando Magic. But how much will that be helped or hindered? It just depends. It honestly just depends on how well Orlando's willing to play and you know, kind of runs Orlando goes on. And you know, if Orlando can get hot, you know, they could be productively hot. And and I don't just mean for the 3-point line. I mean, obviously they need to get, you know, it going from the inside here, dominate inside the paint here, and you know, get some opportunities at the free throw stripe, and you know, obviously shoot the ball well from 3-point land as well, and just play good basketball here. You know, try to get more you know, runs than the Philadelphia 76ers, but we all know how Philadelphia plays at home, especially when the Eagles won yesterday. So kind of feel bad for it. You kind of feel bad for Orlando, but you shouldn't feel bad for Orlando. I mean, they're a team that understandably, you know, just trying to put a better product basketball team on the court here. So maybe in the next few years, Orlando Magic will be, you know, a productive basketball team that will be vying for a playoff spot and possibly a chance to win the NBA championship. All right. So let's bring our next game in here. The next game we want to talk about here will be we got the Brooklyn Nets here. Let's bring them in the screen here. The Brooklyn Nets, we're gonna yeah, there we go. Got a little bit better there. There we go. The Brooklyn Nets here, and they'll be taking on the Los Angeles Lakers here. There will be no Brown, and I believe there'll be no LeBron here tonight here. So interesting to say the least here. We got the Lakers logo and we got the Nets logo here. So Yeah, that way kind of cool things. That way can show you definitely the logos. Talked about doing these things to show you the teams and the team logos, and just talk about the teams in general. What I kind of like Brooklyn. Still without Kevin Durant here. They still do have Kyrie Irving here. Trying to play their best basketball. Lakers. Lakers are trying to get healthy. Davis is back now, but he's kind of banged up again, and then LeBron's kind of. So we'll see here. I mean, Lakers should probably compete in this game with the Brooklyn Nets here, but we'll see here. We'll see what happens, and Brooklyn, moving forward, what are the Brooklyn Nets gonna do? Does Kevin Durant still stay around? I mean, obviously, they're gonna find a permanent coach next season, but obviously. And then what did the Lakers do? I mean, obviously Lakers, this Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, tandem has not really worked out very well. Has not produced the product they thought they would be. They'd be a competitive in a competitive market like LA. LA is a competitive basketball market, obviously, and obviously New York as well. And so when you don't put together, good, winning basketball, I mean, obviously there's still Laker fans out there. Obviously, there's still LeBron fans out there. I mean, but it begs the difference to say how much does LeBron really want it? Does LeBron really want another championship here? And how bad does he really want it? And obviously LeBron's getting older, and when you're on your downward years and your aged years, when you get older as a basketball player, your body tends to not be able to recover as fast as it used to be when you're a lot younger. But still, I mean, that being said, obviously they're supporting cast and the guys coming off the bench here, have been less than desirable. Yeah, they got Patrick Beverly. Yeah, they've gotten Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, but Lakers just, aren't that productive here. I mean, when they have Anthony Davis and when they have LeBron and then they have Westbrook, when those three guys are healthy, yeah, they're productive. But doesn't mean that they're always gonna be winning these games and beating these teams and being competitive. And yeah, they play out in a tough conference out in the West where some teams are getting a lot better. Some teams have improved. Some teams are kind of slipping a bit, but they have to get their real bearings underneath them. So yeah, I'd probably tonight. I don't know. I'd probably maybe lean Nets here. I mean, Nets at home, so that leaves that game. All right. Let's see. Then we have our next game. Next game we have the Minnesota Timberwolves here. Alright, we got the T-Wolves there. Alright, we got the T-Wolves taking on the Sacramento Kings. Taking on the Kings tonight here. The Kings hold court here. Alright, so interesting matchup here. Definitely like this matchup here. You have, a team like the Kings here that have played a lot better basketball than many, analysts or anybody, any fan could ever think that the Kings would play this well coming out the season. But they have. And, Timberwolves, they've kind of played around 500. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns has been hurt, Rudy Gobert has been hurt a little bit as well during the season, and Anthony Edwards he's been banged up as well. So they've been kind of not fully healthy, as fully healthy as they would like to be, but still they're still competitive. They're still 500. They're not like they're really bad basketball team. So if they can get healthy, coming back here on the back half, because we're almost coming halfway. We're almost to the All-Star break here. almost halfway through the season in the NBA. So, these two teams, do have some great players on them. Obviously, with the likes with the Timberwolves are, playing at home tonight, and the Kings are playing on the road here. But, Fox and Sabonis are playing very well. Malik Monk, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray here have been playing very well for the Kings, and Kevin Huerter as well. Offseason acquisition they got from the Atlanta Hawks. And these two teams should play very good tonight. I would definitely take the over in the over in the team total here, because both these teams could put up enough points to definitely probably cover that here. But definitely a good game here. Definitely a competitive game to definitely watch here tonight here. All right, we got the next game here. Next game we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. There we go. We have the OKC Thunder taking on the Golden State Warriors. So, oh, I'm over here. I was over here not looking at the right one. I was like, where did I put this? No, I put this logo here. All right. So, we want to talk about some teams. Golden State Warriors are obviously the defending NBA champions. Came out of the gates a little bit slow here, but now they're getting a little bit healthy and getting some of their supporting cast, the young supporting cast. It started to get a little bit comfortable now. They're starting to get their proverbial wings wet. They're feeling comfortable. They're feeling like they're being actual contributors to this team. And on the other side, we have OKC Thunder here. They're playing better than a lot of people expected here. They thought people thought that Thunder were just going to be, a very bottom feeder, along with the Pistons and the Orlando Magic and Houston Rockets. Let's just name those four teams. But OKC has been competitive. They played very well, obviously led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and obviously Josh Giddey here. But they obviously got the Williams. I like to call them the Williams brothers. They got Jalen and Jalen Williams. I call them the Williams brothers. They've been playing well. They got Luke Dorn as well. They have some other young pieces as well there. Obviously Chet's nursing his injury, and obviously he'll be back next season. Hopefully prepared and ready to go here to help this team win. But OKC here tonight, this game's going to be a good one to see here. Definitely, like I said, I'd take the over in this game as well here. Over in the team total here if I had to take a bet tonight here, just because you got a lot of good athletes here. Future all-stars. Obviously, well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander already is an all-star. Josh Giddey became an all-star last season, and can he be that? Can he be the Robin to Shai's Batman here? And obviously the Warriors obviously have their players, but maybe guys are a little bit banged up here tonight. Maybe some guys do play, some guys don't play. So we'll definitely see. Definitely going to be a competitive game on the docket. All right, so we got the next game here. We have the Dallas Mavericks here. Make that a little bit bigger here. Alright, we got the Dallas Mavericks. They'll be taking on the Detroit Pistons here. Like I said, Detroit's one of those teams here that have been, less than desirable. Obviously, Cade Cunningham has been hurt. That has not, been too well for them here. But they've still been a competitive basketball team nonetheless, despite all that here. But the Mavericks have been solid here. They've been getting solid here. And Luka Doncic here tonight here. Maybe game time decisions. But he's kind of been banged up a bit here. We got Christian Woods is out as well here. He's been banged up with, I think, a shoulder injury or something. But I still think the Mavericks tonight definitely could be able to dominate. Definitely Spencer Dinwiddie here. They got, obviously Tim Hardaway Jr. They have other players that can step up and shoulder the load and help out Luka in this team. So definitely, definitely take the Mavericks here. I mean, they would definitely, don't be scared here. I mean, the only reason I would be kind of scared is if Luka Doncic didn't play, and then maybe it gets a little bit scary here because they don't have Christian Wood either. But I'm not too scared. I definitely like the Mavericks here tonight, even despite even if Luka Doncic doesn't play. I still think the Mavericks are the better basketball team right now. Can the Pistons be competitive somewhat? Oh yes. Oh yeah, they have been in some games this year and have actually covered. So that's definitely, that's no lies, and there's no doubt about it here. So, all right, let's get on to the next game here, and then we'll bring up the old props. How about some good old props here? And it would be I'm going to say the Toronto Raptors. Alright. Alright, we got Toronto Raptors here. Taking on the Phoenix Suns here. So, very interesting matchup here between the Suns. The Phoenix Suns and the Raptors here. Obviously, no Devin Booker still. Obviously, Chris Paul is back here, so it definitely bodes well here. But Toronto is a tough team, and they'll be pretty competitive here tonight. And I think they definitely can give Phoenix a run for their money here. Obviously, with Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes. Just to name a few, and obviously Gary Trent Jr. obviously is playing, lights out well at the moment here. So I mean, what can we say here? That this Toronto Raptors team, they're starting to turn it around a bit here, starting to play a lot better. I mean, they struggled out the gates a little bit, but I think they're another team that plays really good basketball as a team together. And Phoenix, Phoenix is all right. I mean, they've slipped a bit here, obviously, but I still think that they're still competitive enough to make a run to be at least be in the playoffs here, and hopefully we'll have a healthy Booker, come the second half to really help them solidify that here. But we'll see about that. But definitely gonna be a good game tonight here. Definitely a good game between Toronto and Phoenix tonight. All right, then we have. The next game we have here is the San Antonio Spurs. We have the San Antonio Spurs. We have the San Antonio Spurs. They are taking on the Washington Wizards here. Let me get the Wizards logo up here. Maybe the Wizards logo up here. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we got Washington Wizards and San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, Spurs have been one of those teams that haven't played well at all, and the Wizards they were playing really good to start, but kind of fell off. But they're battling back now because Bradley Beal was injured for a while. Now Bradley Beal is back here. Porzingis is back as well. So I mean But you can never count out San Antonio. They're a weird team. They competitive. It's probably the youngest team that Pop has probably ever had to coach, and obviously Greg Popovich, on his legs out here, obviously but it's not that they're a terrible team. It's just they're not a very good basketball team overall. I don't think they have the right players, and they have a lot of young guys, and so with young players, it takes a little while. Generally takes about 2 or 3 years for it to fully transition. I mean, we look at the Warriors. The Warriors were, they were really bad, and then they got the cusp of the playoffs, and then and it took them like by Steph's, I think, third or fourth season to really get going. And so, but that's because you have good general managers, owners, and stuff like that. And you have the right from top to bottom. Always says, if you have the right players, the right coaches, the right people running the organization, the right people, at the stadium, and it makes for a better football, a better basketball. This one I definitely would probably take the over in this one because I think both these teams will probably score some points here, immensely here. All right, let's see what is, and then I want to say the last game here we have is the Portland Trail Blazers here. We got the Trail Blazers here. Alright, we got the Blazers taking on the ATLian Hawks here. Taking on the Atlanta Hawks here, so definitely gonna have some guard action here with Trigger Trey Young, and you got game time, and so you got the young Blazers and Dame and the young Blazers taking on Trey and the ever so fly high, Atlanta Hawks here with DeJounte Murray and John Collins as well. So definitely another game that I say is best. Definitely going to be a high scoring affair. Probably take the team over, just because both these teams can score points here. And Portland sometimes, I mean, some nights Portland does or doesn't, but we would definitely like to see that here. I mean, I think these two teams here. I mean, obviously the Hawks are better trending value wise and way there. So Let's see here. Alright, so like I said, we got Pablo Branchero. Alright, hold on, let me refresh here to make sure. Alright, so in the Orlando Philly game, we have Pablo Branchero for the Magic, Franz Wagner, Markelle Fultz, Wendell Carter Jr., Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Jalen Suggs, Bol Bol. Those are the player props available to us for the Orlando Magic. Then we have Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, the Anthony Milton are the players that their props are up here. Then we have the Lakers. We have Westbrook. We have Thomas Bryant. Probably no relation to Kobe. Dennis Schroeder. We got Patrick Beverly. Those are the only Laker players up for the player props. We got Kyrie Irving. We got Seth Curry, Steph Curry's brother. Both brothers in action tonight. We got Nick Claxton. And we got Royce O'Neal and Joe Harris. Alright, in the Wizards game here, we have Bradley Beal. We got Kyle Kuzma. We got Kristaps Porzingis. We got Mont Morris. And we got Delon Wright. Alright, for the Spurs, we have Keldon Johnson. We have Jakob Poeltl. We have Trey Jones. We have Jeremy Sochan. We got Kate Bates Diop. We got Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, Zach Collins. Alright, for the Kings, between the Kings and the Timberwolves, we got Domantas Sabonis. We have De'Aaron Fox. We have Harrison Barnes. We got Kevin Huerter. We got Keegan Murray. We got Malik Monk. We got Trey Lyles. And then for the T-Wolves, we got Anthony Edwards. We got Rudy Gobert. We got D'Angelo Russell. We got Jaden McDaniels, Kyle Anderson. And for the Warriors, we got Steph Curry. We got Klay Thompson. The Splash Brothers are out there today. We got Draymond Green. We got Andrew Wiggins. We got Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, and Jonathan Kuminga, and Dante DiVincenzo. Alright, for the Thunder, we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We have Josh Giddey. We got Jalen Williams. Those are the only Thunder players for props here. And for the Pistons, we got Bogdanovich. I call him the Australian Bojangles. We got Jaden Ivey. We got Sadiq Bey. We have Jalen Duren here for the Detroit game here. No Dallas players so far here. And for the Toronto game here, we got Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., and Precious Achiuwa, Chris Bosh. And for the Suns, we got Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Torrey Craig. And for the Hawks, we have John Collins, we got DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella, and then for the Trailblazers, we got Dame Lillard, Jeremiah Grant, Anthony Simons. So it looks like Trey and DeJounte Murray might be out here. So I'll have to keep an eye on that one here, because that's interesting. Because then I definitely wouldn't want the back to Hawks too much here. But so yeah, we're definitely gonna have to look into that here to see which kind of props we're gonna play. But news and notes about the Super Bowl here. You know, Travis and Jason Kelsey's mom is probably the first mom to have two of her sons playing against each other in the Super Bowl. Travis playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Jason playing center, anchoring the center. You know, has been that center for a long time on that Philadelphia Eagles line. So you know, it's gonna be a proud moment for Mama Kelsey. You know, she definitely, you know, have two boys to be able to be playing in the Super Bowl is freaking amazing. But yeah, you know, Chiefs and Eagles. You know, definitely, Burrow. It's not like Burrow and them didn't, and like I said, I was leading up to it. I thought the Bengals and Chiefs game was going to be a lot better, and boy was I right. I mean, the Niners just. I mean, once Purdy got hurt, it was pretty much, I don't know. Niners couldn't really do much. I mean, CMC was the only one that scored a touchdown, and it just, I don't know. And then you put your fourth string quarterback in there, and he did okay, but then he got his fucking bell rung and got concussed, and then you just put Purdy back out there, but you just handed the ball off. I mean, that to me just, I mean, I understand you don't want Christian McCaffrey going out there to fucking be your quarterback, but I mean, you got to have somebody out there. You can't just be one-dimensional, try to hand the ball off and try to get creative and expect, not expect Philly to just, tee off on them, and that's what basically Philly did eventually. They just basically just teed off on them, and it was just a little bit too late for the Niners, but big ups and congratulations to the Eagles, to make it to the Super Bowl here, and to the Chiefs for outlasting, Mahomes, seems to be, he wasn't 100%, and then gets banged up again, gets hurt again, and obviously some of his new receivers that they brought in have gotten hurt as well. So, we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, we got the Pro Bowl coming up this coming up weekend here, and then obviously we'll have the skills challenge on Thursday. But the Manning brothers will be hosting it, and they'll be doing it's going to be a flag football. That way nobody gets hurt, Heaven forbid we pay these guys $400 million, but these guys can't get hurt. Heaven forbid. But there's people that risk their life on the line every day, i.e. a firefighter, i.e. a medical EMT, or a police officer, or risk their lives on the line every day, but they ain't getting paid millions of dollars. But expect these athletes, and just, I mean, I love sports. I grew up loving sports as just the genuine passion for sports, but I understand now it's more sports entertainment instead of being just genuine outright for the love of the game of sports now. That's what people have to understand. It's not always about the passion and the love of the game anymore. It's all about the bottom line and about the Benjamins, It's all about the Benjamins, baby, just like Puff Daddy and the Family song. But yeah, I'd say, tonight, NBA, we got some good games. I mean, college basketball, there's not too many big games that, we could talk about here. So I wouldn't, no, I didn't want to go into that here. Just want to kind of talk about NBA here a bit here. And, player props here. I gotta look a little bit more here. I'm kind of trying to wait a little bit closer to find out about some players, because I gotta make sure I make a good player prop bet. So, we will be back here for the manuscripts in the mix, in the mix show here later on. This has been the fresh and funky sports talk here for the time being, but we're gonna cut it short here today. Here, about 34 minutes here. I mean, we'll talk more tomorrow here, and then obviously, we'll break more NBA down here. College basketball tomorrow here, so maybe we maybe we get on a little bit earlier so we can talk a little bit more and get in more depth and talk about the college games here and things of that nature here, because obviously this is what's predominantly going to happen after football. It's pretty much going to be just basketball season, and some days it's going to be light days and other days it's going to be more productive days of sports talking. But yeah, but this was the fresh and funky sports talk for the 1:30. So we're almost the end of January, about to go to February. So, but peace to everybody, and hopefully y'all have a wonderful night. And if you come back and join us on the manuscripts